So those two equations, who will tell? Sai Varun, you tell those two equations for the T section. Here we had Z1, Z2 and Z3, if I am correct. You can see here Z1, Z2, Z3, yes. So, and this T section is interposed between generator and load. Okay. So we have to calculate for this T section, we have to calculate Z1I. This is Z1I. And here we have Z2I. So what will be Z1I and Z2I? So here we have to calculate generator. What was the voltage of the generator? It is E. Okay. So here we have Z1I, which is the internal impedance of the generator. Voltage is E. And here load, we have the load. This is 2 terminal, 2 dash, 1 dash. Okay, so now it will be like this as per this figure, and this is Z2. So what will be image impedance? Z1I will be equal to Z1 plus Z3 into Z2 plus Z2I divided by Z3 plus Z2 plus Z2I. Z2I will be equal to Z2 plus Z3 into Z1 plus Z1I and divide by Z3 plus Z1 plus Z1. Okay, now you solve these two equations because these are coupled equations. Z1I in terms of Z2I, Z2I in terms of Z1I. So how to solve this? X in terms of Y, Y in terms of X. How to solve? How to separate? So it is very easy. You multiply. So first you consider this equation. Okay. So Z1I into Z3 plus Z1I into Z2 plus Z1I Z2I. Okay. Is equal to Z1 into Z3 plus Z1 Z2 plus Z1 Z2I plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z2I. Okay. Some term is cancelling here. No cancellation. Okay. No cancellation. Okay. So from here, can you calculate Z2I in terms of Z1I, Z2I in terms of Z1I, function of Z1I. Okay. And that you keep here. Function of Z1I you keep here. This is also a function of Z1I. You can calculate Z1I. And when you calculate Z1I using this function, Z2I is equal to this equation, you can calculate Z2I also. So Z1I and Z2I, what after doing this mathematics? So what you will get finally? Finally, you will get these two equations. It is shown here. Are you getting these two equations?
Sir, can you please explain once again? How we got that equation? The last one.
Equation number 1 and 2. So are you getting these two equations after solving? After solving these two equations, Z1 in is equal to and Z2 I is equal to. So after solving, because these are coupled equations, so you have to separate it. So after separating Z1 I in terms of Z1, Z2, Z3, similarly Z2 I in terms of Z1, Z2, Z3, the image impedance at the 1-1 terminal of the T section and the image impedance at the 2-2 terminal of the T section. Are you getting this? Somebody was asking, are you getting this?
Got sir, got sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now do one thing, short circuit and open circuit measurement. So suppose the 2-2 terminal is open circuited, then what will happen? 2-2 terminal is open circuited in this circuit, in this network, then what will happen if we open circuit the 2-2 terminal? What will be, yes,
Z2I impedance will go out to infinity if we'll keep that.
Z1 short circuited, so Z1 SC, when the 2-2 terminal is short circuited, then what will happen?
Sir, you
Then Z1 SC will be equal to Z1 plus Z2 Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3. So Z1 plus Z2 parallel Z3. Here somebody was telling something. Here.
Sir, you are not audible for the last one.
These two equations. Again I will speak. So now you consider two cases. Case 1, 1-1. At the 1-1 terminal, we have to calculate the input impedance when the 2-2 terminal is open circuited. So what will be the impedance seen looking into the 1-1 terminal? Yes. What will be the impedance? Z1 OC will be equal to Z1 plus Z3. Now when the 2-2 terminal is short circuited, what will be the impedance Z1 SC seen looking into the 1-1 terminal?
Z1 plus Z2 parallel Z3.
Yes, Z1 plus Z2 parallel Z3. So same this thing are written here, see here, Z1 OC and Z1 SC. So now you will ask, okay, image impedance we have calculated, why we are doing this open circuit and short circuit consideration or measurements? Because Z1 OC and Z1 SC you have just calculated, can you write Z1 I is equal to under root Z1 OC into Z1 SC? Equation number 5. Z1 I is equal to Z1 OC under root Z1 SC. Is it correct or not? First you check, is it correct or not? So it is correct. So that means it is the geometric mean. Z1 I, the image impedance at the 1-1 terminal is equal to the geometric mean of the short circuit and open circuit impedances at the 1-1 terminal when the 2-2 terminal is open circuited or short circuited. because Z1I will be equal to under root Z1AC into Z1 OC.
ఇయర్
Okay.
ఫోన్స్ పెట్టుకోరా స్క్రీన్ షేర్ వదిలే జస్ట్ మీట్లో ఉండి చాలు వీడి ఫోన్ చేస్తున్నాడేంటి హలో
I will mute all the parties. Okay. So now similarly you calculate Z2I. Z2I image impedance at the 2-2 terminal of the T section in terms of open circuited and short circuited impedances. When the 1-1 terminal is open circuited or short circuited. So what will be Z2I? The image impedance at the 2-2 terminal, that will be equal to under root, same thing, under root Z2OC into Z2SC, like we have done for the image impedance at the 1-1 terminal. This is image impedance at the 2-2 terminal in terms of open circuited and short circuited impedance. Hope these things are very clear to you without any confusion. Okay. So basically, what you got? Z1I image impedance and Z1I and Z2I. So if we choose the Z1, Z2, Z3 for this asymmetrical T section, if these are made of capacitor and inductor, if these are capacitive or inductive reactances, so then what will happen? You know that if they are pure reactance, pure capacitive 1 upon omega C, pure inductive omega L. So it is not resistive, pure reactance. Then what will happen? So that means the delivered at the generator, since it is matched, so maximum power will be delivered to this T section at the 1-1 terminal, because it is matched. Z1I we have calculated. So this Z1I generator impedance should be equal to that, okay, image impedance. So in that case, maximum power will be delivered to the T section from the generator. Generator will deliver the maximum power to the T section. And one more assumption we are making, that all these Z1, Z2, Z3 arms, series and parallel arms, these are made of pure reactances. So that means there is no resistive loss. You know, inductor stores energy in magnetic field and capacitor will store energy in electric field. So they will store the energy if they are pure reactants. So that means in this T section, there will not be any loss of power. If there is no loss of power, already maximum power has been transferred to this T section from the generator, and there is no loss of power, that means that same maximum power will be delivered to the load. So if the generator is delivering the maximum power to the load by making this arrangement, so we can say that, okay, generator and load is matched. Did you get it or not? This argument. You can say logical argument we are making here. Okay. So same thing, what I told you, already we matched with the internal impedance of the generator is equal to the image impedance at the 1-1 terminal. That formula is here. This formula, and this is also equal to, either you write equation 1 or you can use equation 5. Using 1 or 5, you can calculate image impedance at the 1 terminal, either in terms of Z1, Z2 or Z3, or in terms of open circuit and short circuit impedances measurements. Okay. So that means, if Z1, Z2 and Z3, these are also pure reactances, so we are seeing that the maximum power is delivered from the generator to this T section, and since these are made of pure reactances, there will not be any loss, and so this maximum power will be delivered to the load. It will be transferred to the load. So we can say that this maximum power delivered by the generator is reaching at the load. We can say generator and load is matched. So same thing is written here. See, pure reactances, no power can be dissipated. So power delivered by the generator will be transferred to the load. Must all be transferred to the load. Okay, so you can write like this: if the maximum possible power output of the generator is delivered to the load, so we can say, okay, load and generator are matched. So you can generalize here. So this is known as Everett theorem. Theorem was proposed by Everett. So if in a network of pure reactances, Z1, Z2, Z3, series and shunt arms, they are pure reactances. So if in a network of pure reactances terminated in a dissipative load, okay, and supplied from a generator having an internal resistance. So a conjugate matching, if there is a conjugate impedance match at one pair of terminals. So if there is a conjugate impedance match, at one pair of terminals, so at all other pairs of terminals there will be conjugate match because maximum power is delivered. So there will be a conjugate match. So this just now you just studied only about the image impedance. Now we will study iterative or characteristic. So iterative or characteristic impedance. Okay. Iterative or characteristic impedance. For this you consider here. Just now T section you considered, here you are seeing T section. This T section is made of two L sections. Two L sections you are seeing here. And also consider pi section. This pi section is also made of two L sections. Okay. Two asymmetrical L sections. Okay, so I will take some water. Okay, so what you are seeing here, T section and pi section made of L sections. So if Z1 is equal to Z2 in that asymmetrical T section, just we have discussed Z1, Z2, Z3. So if Z1 is equal to Z2 for this circuit, see here, if Z1 is equal to Z2, then we can say that it is symmetrical T section. If these two series arc impedances are same. Okay. So that means the network is said to be symmetrical if Z1 is equal to Z2 for the T section. Similarly, for the pi section, ZA is equal to, for the pi section, these two impedances are same. Then also it is symmetrical pi section. So these are symmetrical T section and pi section because Z1 by 2 and Z1 by 2 here, 2Z2 and 2Z2. So now the question is, if it is symmetrical, what will be the image impedance? What will be the image impedance if they are symmetrical? For the asymmetrical network, we just calculated image impedance. For the symmetrical T section, what will be the image impedance? So for the symmetrical T section, Z1I image impedance at the 1,1 terminal is equal to the image impedance at the 2,2 terminal. So for the symmetrical T section or symmetrical pi section, image impedances will be same at the 1,1 or 2,2 terminals. It will be same, and that is known as iterative, or a ladder network, iterative impedance or characteristic impedance. So what will be that characteristic impedance? Suppose that is Z0. What will be Z0? So if it is a ladder network, series connection of a large number of T section or a large number of pi section, that is called ladder network. Like these two are ladder network. This we use iterative impedance because it is made of a large section of large number of T section or large number of pi section, iteration. So iterative impedance and image impedances at the 1,1 or 2,2 terminal are all same. So that means what is the impedance here? Same impedance is repeated here, is here. So we are saying, okay, this is iterative impedance or the characteristic impedance of this network. Okay, so how to calculate the characteristic impedance for this symmetrical T section? Already we had done same formula you can use. Z1, Z2, Z3 you have. Z1 is equal to Z1 by 2, Z2 is equal to Z1 by 2, Z3 is equal to Z2. If you put like this in that formula, so then we can calculate the characteristic impedance for this symmetrical net. Now it is symmetrical. Okay. So here it is done. Okay, so basically either using formula you can do, or this way also same procedure like we had done series and parallel. So Z1 in is equal to, now it will be Z1 by 2 plus Z2 parallel Z1 by 2 series with Z0. This will be equal to Z0. Okay, this will be equal to Z0. So Z0 will be equal to this same thing, and if you solve this, you will get Z0 is equal to under root Z1 square upon 4 plus Z1 Z2. Same equation you can Z0 you can calculate directly by using that formula that we did for image impedance. Okay, so using these two formula, directly you can calculate Z0. you can put Z1 is equal to Z1y2 and Z2 is equal to Z1y2 and Z3 is equal to Z2. Or you can do like this, same thing. Already we had done like this way. So Z0 is the characteristic impedance of the T section and this is Z0 T. For a symmetrical T section, the characteristic impedance of the T section is equal to under root Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 upon 4 Z2. So how we got this? Can anybody explain here? These three equations. Same thing we are doing here, like we did for image impedance calculation. But since it is symmetrical network and image impedance at the 1,1 terminal and 2,2 terminal is same, so we have written, and that is equal to Z0. So we have written here this is equal to Z0. So this formula, the characteristic impedance of the T section is equal to under root Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 upon 4 Z2, where the T section is made of the series arm Z1Y2 and the shunt arm Z2. The shunt arm having impedance Z2. Okay. Now for the pi section you do, for the T section, for this pi section you do, you calculate, here is the pi section. Calculate the characteristic impedance of the pi section. It is made of series arm Z1 and 2 shunt arms having impedance 2Z2 each. Calculate the Z0 pi characteristic impedance of the pi section. Using the basics you calculate. So for the pi section, what will be the characteristic impedance? For the T section, what was the characteristic impedance? We had just calculated, no? So Z0 T characteristic impedance of the T section was equal to under root Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 Y 4 Z2. For the pi section, for the symmetrical T section or symmetrical pi section, what will be the formula? You calculate and prove this. Are we getting this or not? For the pi section, yes, I have written correctly. This is what you will get. But and this is also given here. Calculation is also given. So for the pi section, pi section is made of 2Z2, here Z1 and 2Z2. Okay, this is Z0 pi, Z0 pi. Image impedance is same because this is symmetrical. So this is for the symmetrical pi section and this is for symmetrical T section, the characteristic impedances. So you must calculate it stepwise using basics. So for the T section and pi section, we have done the characteristic impedance. Okay, now see here this figure. So for the symmetrical T section, Z1Y2, and Z2, 2 series arms and 1 shunt arm. This is terminated in characteristic impedance Z0. So the question is, what will be the input impedance? Yes, what will be the input impedance? Sai Varun, what will be the input impedance Z1 in? Input impedance will be equal to Z0. Z1 in will be equal to Z0, which will be equal to under root Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 by 4 Z2, where Z0 is the characteristic impedance. Okay, for this symmetrical T section. Now consider this circuit also for the pi section. Z1 series arm impedance 2Z2 and 2Z2 two shunt arm impedance. This is symmetrical pi section, and here this is terminated in Z0. The question is, what will be Z1 in? What will be Z1 in? This will be equal to Z0, where Z0 will be equal to under root Z1 Z2 divided by 1 plus Z1 by 4 Z2. Did you get it or not? Okay. So now in terms of short circuit and open circuit measurement. Okay, we calculated the Z0 T and Z0 pi characteristic impedance. Same thing we will write in terms of short circuit and open circuit measurements for the T section and for the pi section. So the question is, what will be Z0 T in terms of short circuit and open circuit? So what will be Z0 T? If the 2-2 terminal is open circuited, then what will be Z1 in? Z1 by 2 plus Z2. If the 2-2 terminal is short circuited, then what will be Z1 in? Z1 by 2 plus Z2 parallel Z1 by 2. Good. So now what will be Z1 in? Which is here. Here is Z1 in. So this will be equal to this. If you here it is done, open circuited, short circuited, same thing is done here. So basically now you multiply it, you will get this, which is equal to the characteristic impedance of the T section whole, because that was under root, if you remember. So Z0 T whole square is equal to Z0 open circuit and Z0. What you got? You got that for the symmetrical T section, we can calculate the characteristic impedance of a symmetrical T section as the geometric mean of the short circuit and open circuit impedance, measured impedance. For the pi section also, you do the same thing. You calculate open circuit, short circuit, multiply it, and you will get this one. And as per the formula for the pi section, so Z0 pi, you are saying this is equal to under root this expression. So basically, Z0 pi will be equal to geometric mean of open circuit and under root ZOC ZSC for the pi section. So for a symmetrical network, whether T or pi section, you can say that okay, Z0 is equal to under root ZSC into ZOC. Okay. So far you have any doubt, then you can ask. We have not considered a radio frequency line. We are considering low frequency. RF lines, RF transmission line we will consider in the next. So next we will study types of transmission line. So types of transmission lines, what you are seeing here, coaxial cable, waveguide, coaxial line. Here you are seeing here coaxial line. So here we have two conductors. This is the inner conductor and this is outer conductor and inner conductor. In between there is a dielectric with some permittivity epsilon r, relative permittivity. So this is known as coaxial transmission line. So a coaxial cable we use in cable TV, coaxial cable. So now this antenna, parabolic dish antenna at your roof, if you check it, it is using coaxial transmission line from your antenna at the roof to the television, your TV, cable TV. Coaxial cable is used, okay. And also in your laboratory, when you are connecting the CRO, function generator, cathode ray, oscilloscope, digital storage oscilloscope, we are using coaxial cable. The losses are very less. Good. What you are seeing here, this one, two-wire line. Two-wire line. So what are the examples of two-wire line? High power lines. So two-conductor transmission line. So here in this transmission, here in this conductor, current will go in this direction, and in this conductor, current will flow in the reverse direction. So you can short circuit this also. This you can make ground, second conductor, or this is two conductor transmission line, which are generally used for high power lines transmission at low frequency. Okay, and what is a twisted line? Twisted wire line. Have you seen twisted wire line? Or old television, if you are having one, then you can check how the antenna and TV was connected. That was connected with using twin lead transmission line. If you have seen that, the impedance was equal to 300 ohms, and for the coaxial line, what is the impedance? 75 ohms. Okay, and this is two-wire transmission line. Here, what we are saying for this, what is this? Planar transmission line. Planar transmission line. Have you heard about a strip line? This is not a strip line. A strip line is different, because for the strip line, these two will be grounded and inside there will be conductor. So here we are seeing planar transmission line. Okay, this you can make ground and here you can make circuit. This is conductor. And what you are seeing in this type of transmission line, so this is a conducting plane. You can make it ground plane, conducting plane, and here there is a wire above this conducting plane, and this we have very famous microstrip line. So for television set, TV antenna, okay. So this is microstrip line. This is very famous. Microstrip planar transmission line. So in this case, what you are seeing, planar transmission line, just we have, this is planar transmission line, and this is microstrip planar transmission. For planar transmission line, we have coplanar waveguide, coplanar transmission line, a strip line, microstrip line. So microstrip line is also a planar transmission. So here at the ground plane, you are seeing this conductor. This you can make as a ground plane. You can ground it. And the another conductor is the main circuit will be placed here. You can design your circuit here, your devices. You can make patches here. Here is the conductor at the top layer. That is microstrip line. So here a conductor strip you can put it here. And this is ground plane. Okay. And what about coplanar waveguide? What will happen in CPW? The name is coplanar. So that means this conductor plane and ground plane should share one plane. So it will be placed in one plane. It is your conductor and here at the same plane on one plane. So ground will be also, you can place ground here. There is no problem. You can ground it other strip. So that is coplanar waveguide. And this below it, underneath, there will be dielectric only, no conductor. Substrate. We call it substrate. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss equivalent this application of transmission line, types of transmission line. We have many types. So equivalent circuit of a pair of transmission lines, primary, secondary, constant equations we will discuss tomorrow, day after tomorrow in your next class. So far if you have, today we discussed image, impedance, iterative impedance for a ladder network and characteristic impedance for a symmetrical network. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Any question? Okay, from 11 we have one meeting. Okay, now I will stop the recording.